Welcome, everyone. It's not quite 2 o'clock. So I just want to welcome you, let you know that you're in the right place, and we will begin shortly. Welcome, everyone, to the Indian River Lagoon National Estuary Program. What's up in the watershed? This is our monthly series where we highlight local works, local great works going on behalf of the Indian River Lagoon. Sometimes it's our own projects, and sometimes, like today, we get the chance to highlight these amazing projects of other entities also working on behalf of the Indian River Lagoon. Our partners today are the Waterway Warriors, and Sharon Noll is our presenter today. Sharon is the president and founder of Waterway Warriors, which is a volunteer-powered nonprofit dedicated to protecting Florida's waterways. You might know them by a previous name, but they have majorly expanded their mission recently. Sharon is a Brevard County resident and an avid boater for the past 16 years. She began picking up litter along the local shorelines while caring for her mother with dementia. Those quiet walks became a source of purpose and the spark for a movement. As she continued to build a successful career as a Brevard County realtor, three other like-minded women joined her on her efforts, forming the Core Four and laying the foundation for Waterway Warriors. What started with four determined women has grown into a thriving community of hundreds of volunteers united by one mission: pick up, prevent, protect, and preserve. Together, they've prevented now more than 131 tons. So that's an updated statistic for you. More than 131 tons of trash from entering Florida's waterways. And for Sharon, the mission goes way beyond just litter removal. It's about protecting wildlife, preventing plastics from becoming harmful microplastics, preserving critical habitats, and safeguarding Florida's rivers, lagoons, and tributaries for future generations. Waterway Warriors proves that when ordinary people unite around a shared purpose, they can create extraordinary change. That's Sharon for you, but I have one more little quote that she did not provide for me. We were chatting, getting ready for this last week, and she said, I know trash, and I know trash and waterways. So, what a perfect lead in to today's presentation. Sharon, if you don't mind, take it away. And for all of our participants online, as you have questions, please enter them into the Q&A. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here. Thank you for allowing the presentation. I am so incredibly excited to be sharing with you the mission of the Waterway Warriors. And if you can see on the screen, what it says is I am sharing on behalf of the Waterway Warriors team. And that's because we are a team. And without the majority of us, the bunch of us all working together, nothing would ever get done. So here we go. So hold on a second. Whoops. Who are the Waterway Warriors? So our mission is to prevent and remove the trash before it gets into the waters of Florida. It's a very simple mission. However, we do it in a lot of different ways. We do it in a lot of different ways because there's a lot of different reasons trash is there, and there's a lot of different reasons that volunteers participate. Now, talking about there's a lot of different participants on this webinar. So let's do this. I would like you, if you can, to raise your hand if you've ever picked up one piece of trash that someone has left behind. And while you're in that interactive mode, if you wouldn't mind, share what city you're in or what organization you are participating on behalf of. And that way we can know what kind of participants are involved in this particular organization. So did you get your hands up? I gave you about another 10 seconds. Fantastic. All right. So congratulations. You are a warrior for our waters. Now, not a waterway warrior yet. To become a waterway warrior, you got to come out and participate with us, but you're a warrior for the waters. And that's huge because that gives us a commonality. So, does this wheel perhaps look familiar? It's the wheel from One Lagoon, and it's a visual roadmap of all of the different ways and all of the different things that organizations, companies, municipalities, people, everyone's working together for the health of the waterways. So let's ask the question. If you're a fisherman or you've ever recreated by the water, raise your hand. Okay? If you're an organization that works to benefit the waterways, put your hand up. Okay. Are you a citizen and you're just on this webinar because you're wondering what you can do, what's up with the waterways, with the watershed, and what could I do to help? Put your hand up. Okay. Okay, looking good. So, if you are, let me put it this way, you are somewhere on this wheel just because you took the time to be on this webinar. And because you took the time to be on this webinar, it means we have something in common. And what we have in common is a shared mission. And that mission is to improve the health of our waterways. So, who are we? Where we fit into this wheel is we are on the trash-free waters side. Our entire mission is to prevent the litter, the trash, the yucky from reaching the water. And when it does, it endangers our wildlife. It breaks down into microplastics. And where we fit in the community is our mission is to inspire and to engage, to empower the community to become part of the solution. So, picture is worth 1,000 words. On the left, we have a trash-filled environment. On the right, we have a trash-free environment. Now, pretty sure we can all agree the right-hand side, that's the one we need to be on. Trash-free environment is our goal. So, talk a lot about trash, but why is it a problem? So, it really is a problem for so many reasons, and I'm just listing a couple of them here. The environment, the damage it does to our ecosystem, the cost the expensive cost that it takes to remove all of the trash. Now, we've got 77 baffle boxes. If you don't know what a baffle box is, you got to look it up on the internet. We've got 77 baffle boxes in this county and that are maintained. That's an expensive feat to maintain them. And we are thrilled that our county is absorbing that cost. Well, and if you don't know what a baffle box is, you got to look it up. So trash is ugly. It affects the way our community views itself. Where Waterway Warriors leans is into the entanglement and the microplastics, the problems that trash prevents. The problem, here we go. Let's try this again, guys. The problem that trash has for our environment is with our entanglement. That's our animals getting stuck in our junk, and with microplastics. Now, I read a study that microplastics are now in our sea salt that we're using, shakers on our food. They're in the water, not in the bottles of the water, but in the water itself. We knew that it was in fish or any of the shellfish, but it's also in sugar. So if we can remove this trash from the environment and prevent the microplastics from getting into our food system, into the food chain, it will be dramatically better. So let's take 1 minute to see what's really at stake when trash reaches our waterways. Now, if the video is on the, if the video is not, you're not able to hear the video, turn your volume up.
528 in Brevard County is kind of a central point for a lot of our research and rescue efforts. It's a common area for dolphins, so it's a common area for dolphin strandings, and it's also, unfortunately, a common area for dolphin entanglements. Over the last several years, we've seen an increase in entanglements. Most of this is monofilament or braided fishing line.
People don't think about something as small as a piece of fishing line, for example, and other trash. A hazard to manatees, to dolphins, to birds.
Wild Florida Rescue is like a wildlife ambulance for animals that need to get to emergency care. Our workload has grown to incredible numbers. The first 2 years, we were running about 3,000 animals a year, and now we are at over 7,000 a year. I would say most of the calls are entanglements with fishing line or trash.
But there are also microplastics that impact nearly every species in the lagoon.
Microplastics themselves potentially cause harmful detriments to the health of animals. They get into the Indian River Lagoon mostly as secondary microplastics. So larger pieces of plastic that have broken down.
This was left behind. Simple enough, right? But by the time it gets into the water and floats in the water for a while, it dries up and then it breaks down into microplastics.
This is the stuff that's already dissolving and turn into microplastics. This is what's going to damage and poison our water. So getting it underneath the ground and pulling it up so it doesn't dissolve or disintegrate anymore is critical.
Doesn't that break your heart? It upset us so much when we started interviewing the wildlife rescue and hubs to see the danger and the damage that we are doing to the animals. So let's talk about trash itself. Now, this graphic is from NOAA, and I could not believe how long it takes the items that we use every day to disintegrate. So it says over on the bottom left-hand side, a plastic bottle will take 450 years to decompose. It's going to be around for a long time. And if it's in the water, it's decomposing right into our water. The one that really surprised me was fishing line. Fishing line takes over 600 years to decompose. That is a long time that line could be doing damage in our waters. So we need to get it out. All right. So trash is causing problems. But what is the source? Where is it coming from? Well, when we started doing our data research, we realized the trash is going to come from 3 different places. The first is careless and thoughtless trash. Someone drops something on the ground, they leave something behind. The second source is accidental trash. And that's the stuff that's blowing out of the back of a truck, back of a boat. It's totally accidental. The people did not mean to leave it there. The third source of trash is deliberate dumping. That is intentional and that is damaging. So let's talk about careless trash for a minute. So if you see in the bottom left of this picture, do you see the fishing line? Can you imagine being a bird, stepping into that mess and the damage it's going to do, getting entangled in that line? That is a thoughtless, careless discarding of that line. But let's look at the middle picture for a minute. What's that? When we first saw it, we were astonished. That is a chair. That is a chair that someone brought down by the water to, I don't know, look at the sunset. And then they left the chair and all of the trash right there. That is careless and thoughtless. What about accidental trash? Stuff that's blown out of a truck or a car. I am fairly sure that someone was not walking along on the left-hand side. Someone was not walking along the road and go, I think this is a great place to leave all my hangers. No, that blew out of someone's car. It was accidental, but if you are a baby dolphin, now, to preface this picture is right next to an embankment that leads down to the water. So that's the road next to an embankment leading down to the water. And eventually, and this is the key, trash will travel. I'm going to come back to that. And those hangers are going to end up in the water. And you're a baby dolphin. You're swimming along with mama, and your head goes right through that hanger. And now that hanger is stuck on your neck. And as you become a juvenile dolphin, it gets tighter. And if you make it to adulthood, that hanger is then suffocating you. That's how our trash, even accidental, negatively affects the animals in entanglement. Now, the third source of trash is deliberate dumping. And we have people that are dumping all over Brevard, all over the other counties, all over Florida. Now, what's sad about this is that, remember the 2 words I just said? Trash travels. In the middle picture, that is a hot tub that someone decided to dump right along the waterway shore. They dumped it with all of the pipes, all of the wires, all the cables, all the fiberglass. They dumped the whole thing. Right there is the water. One good hurricane, one good serious tropical blow, that stuff is blowing right into the water. It's the damage that is done deliberately that we, as Waterway Warriors, are trying to prevent. All right. So, how does the trash reach the waterways? It reaches the waterways in lots of different ways. In Florida, we have rain. Now, I've been traveling for the past number of months, and I got to tell you, No one has rain like Florida rain. I've never seen it. It is the most amazing thing. And that rain will wash things right into the water or into the storm drains. And I checked with the county, the Brevard County, and to make sure this statement was true, every single storm drain in Brevard leads to a larger body of water. It either leads to the Indian River, the Banana River, Sykes Creek, the St. John's, retention ponds, the ocean. It leads to another body of water, and it carries the trash with it. Wind, we all know what wind is. That also has trash travel. So the bad actors are the people that place trash in the water. Now, obviously, that's no one on this webinar. No one here would dream of backing their hydraulic truck up and dumping construction materials by the water's edge. We know that. So in that way, we're preaching to the choir, or we are sharing the mission. So we've talked about the problem. Now, how are we as Waterway Warriors part of the solution? Now, we've got another video. And again, if your sound is really low, raise your volume as much as you can.
The Indian River Lagoon is one of the most biodiverse estuaries in North America, and it's home to a lot of ecologically sensitive species.
Brevard County's identity is amazingly tied to this lagoon. Everybody wants to live somewhere clean and beautiful. You don't want to go to the beach and have trash washing up and go to the river and fish out of it and have trash floating around.
Every time a piece of garbage goes into the waterway, it's landing on the bed of the river, and it's inhibiting growth of plants. That serves as a nursery for fish. It serves as food for manatees.
Trash that appears by our waterways comes from 3 different sources. It is accidental stuff that blows out of trucks and cars and boats. Second source is debris that is left behind by fishermen or families, homeless. The third source of trash comes from intentional dumping.
So our goal is really to collect the garbage that's left along the side of the water before it can get into the water.
We have twice monthly trash pickups with a group of volunteers.
We have barrels that we've installed along different areas for fishermen, families to be able to remove their trash and put their trash in it.
80% of all the trash that was on the shorelines is now in these barrels. So it's been a very successful project.
Fishing line recycling program. So we call it MERP, the Monofilament Recovery and Recycling Program, is what we have here in the county. And we have about 130 bins countywide.
You know, we've got folks who leave pallets. They have these pallet fires that they burn, and it leaves nails on the ground to where, you know, people that walk by can step on them. Waterway Warriors has been a tremendous help to the Florida Department of Transportation in helping us keep the right-of-way along our waterways clean.
Waterway Warriors is great at organizing people and events and cleanup, but they're also always forward looking to how can we do this more efficiently? How can we do this better? How can we prevent the pollution in the first place? They're just a fantastic organization that we're very fortunate to have.
When communities unite, the ripple effect begins. Now it's time for city leaders to step up, partner with the Waterway Warriors, and lead the way to cleaner, healthier waters. Bold leadership starts here. Is your city ready? All right. So that gives you a little bit, just a little bit of an idea, as to an overview as to what we do. Who are the Waterway Warriors? What it didn't touch on is the process. And I want to go through the process before we go through some of the programs that we've got in a little bit more detail. Because Our aim is to stop the prevention at its source. Our aim is to stop the trash from even getting into the waterways. And this is how we do it. We find a troubled waterway. Now, I know you think, oh, just look around. But it's not that simple. Because once we find a troubled waterway, a waterway that is really trashy, continuously trashy, we have to work with the landowner. And the landowner may be a private individual. And it's up to them to clean their own property. But if the landowner is the state, the city, the county, we work with them to adopt the location. Now, adopting is very critical for us because it provides insurance. There's a contract. It's an actual agreement that we are partnering with the landowner for a long-term relationship. Only then do we get to start to plan cleanup events. And that's what generally the public sees. The public sees our calendar, either website or our Facebook calendar. You get an email that says, hey, we've got a cleanup event coming at this particular location. But it's not always the same location. When we're there, our goal is at that adopted location, our goal is to create a baseline clean. Let's get everything cleaned up first. While we are cleaning it up, however, we're also doing two other things that the public is generally not aware of. We are trying to determine what the source of the problem is. We're trying to determine the source of the trash. Is it being deliberately dumped? Is it blowing in from somewhere? Can we create some kind of mitigation? We are determining the source and we're collecting the data. We are an extremely data-oriented organization. We pretty much don't do anything without the numbers to back it. And that is collected during our group cleanups. We then work with the landowner to establish and implement a maintenance protocol. Now, as I said, that maintenance protocol could be installing barrels. Maybe there's only one trash can needed. Maybe there's a dozen trash cans needed. Maybe there are 2 trash cans needed in one location. That's what our data will tell us. Maybe we need more boots on the ground because it's all accidental trash. Maybe to prevent dumping, we might need a barrier, and then we need to work with the landowner to install that. Once we can get the preventative measures in place, are being all data driven, and we can reduce the amount of trash in that location, we can take our large groups and move them somewhere else and establish a small team to maintain that area. Now, it's the word regularly that is so important. Our teams, our site area reps, check their sites every week to determine what's going on, to keep their eye on it. Now, our program overview. We have lots of different ways to do lots of different things because trash comes in lots of different ways to our areas. We've got a boots on the ground program. We've got a barrel bin program. That's trash that is trash cans that are installed in frequented locations. We do monofilament line. We do nail sweeping or nail removing, which we'll get into in a minute. And then we do all kinds of one-off stuff. Low water access areas that are maybe they're accessible once a year. Maybe we get in there and try and remove the trash before the water takes it back out. And we have other events such as Tire Island, and we'll go through those. Now, working with the landowner, we also provide other benefits. For FDOT, they want to know what's going on with their seawalls. And we have a direct view and a regular view into the damage to the seawalls that we can communicate for them to come in and repair. We work with the city of Cocoa. We monitor all kinds of violations for our landowners. And this is all the stuff that our volunteers do not see when they come out to a Saturday morning cleanup. So, our Boots on the Ground program. So, Boots on the Ground program, we meet twice a month on a Saturday morning, 8 to 10 a.m., only 2 hours. And that's going to become critical later on. Only know that only volunteers are only out there for 2 hours. And the locations that we go to always change because, what was the word? Trash travels. So I put some people up here, but the question that we keep getting asked the most is, what kind of odd things do you find basically on a typical Saturday morning? So pretty regularly, we will find drug paraphernalia. Not often do we find weapons, but it has happened. One of the odd things that we found was a shopping cart that had been buried in the sand. Another thing on the right-hand side, that's a vacuum cleaner. We have no idea why a vacuum cleaner was out in the bushes. Maybe someone was trying to help our environment, but yeah, it's taking things a little bit seriously. We also regularly find car parts. Now, I have no idea why car parts are left by the waterway, by the shorelines. I have no idea. We have no idea. Why would you just leave a stack of wheels or tires sitting there by the water? Why would you dump a car hood off? Not a clue. A battery, a jug or a bucket of used motor oil. If anybody can give me the answers to those questions, we would love to know. But car parts are generally things that we find fairly regularly. And we wanted to make sure everyone knows that the safety and well-being of our volunteers is our utmost priority, even from crazy wildlife. All right, let's get back to the boots on the ground, the planning, where we send our volunteers out to. So as I mentioned, every site has a representative, and that representative goes to all of the areas along that route, along those sites. They monitor it weekly, and then they report back the data. Now, I probably have said the word data a half dozen times in this presentation. That's because we are very data-driven. Before a group cleanup, that we check with our site representative, and they will then go out and determine exactly where the teams will go. And if you've been on a cleanup with us, you generally understand wherever we meet, wherever we stage, we are going to be driving in small teams to another location. Because, what was the key? Trash travels. So, a group of, let's say, 30 people come to a cleanup. We'll divide into roughly, 6 groups of 5. That 6 groups, they will then go to 6 different locations, collect the trash that we are able to remove, which is how we can say on an average cleanup, which happens twice a month, we are removing an average of 1,200 pounds every single cleanup every single cleanup event that we host. 1,200 pounds is about 0.6 tons of trash. So anywhere between 1/2 of a ton and 1 full ton of trash is prevented from getting into the waters every single time we go out. So we also have a barrel bin program. Now, when we first started our barrel bin program, what we thought was, if we put a trash can out, will someone put their trash in the trash can? Surprisingly, they do. So we decided to put more trash cans out. What we learned was the way Walt Disney did Disneyland, Disney World, their trash cans are no more than 22 steps away from each other, because people will not walk more than 22 steps to throw away a piece of trash. You got to make it convenient. So we've made it very convenient. Now, our barrel bins are prepared by volunteers. They are installed by volunteers. Originally, they were maintained by volunteers. But we recognized community collaboration is vital. So this is our collaboration for our barrel program. Tommy's Express Car Wash in Brevard, they have donated the barrels to us. They are car wash soap barrels that we've repurposed. FDOT as a partner, they give us some of the supplies. Right On Junk Removal has been our partner on the O'Galley and the Pineda Causeways. They maintain the barrels every single week. Josie's is a very community forward citizen. And thankfully, we have Keep Brevard Beautiful. Their collaboration, their partnership with us has been vital, and they've been able to transport all of these bags to the landfill. And we're very grateful. So our barrel bin program, with the bins that we have on Pineda and the bins that we have on O'Galley West, every bin removes and prevents 2,500 pounds of trash per year, every trash can. And the data is showing that this program works. We have a monofilament line recycling program. They're attached to our barrels. And what we've done is partner with the Eagle Scouts. The Eagle Scouts need a project to be able to get their Eagle Scout certification, designation. They are building the monofilament line that we install then on our barrels. It is a phenomenal partnership. And remember, every monofilament line container, it's about $90 to assemble it. It's not cheap. So we were talking about nail collection in the video, and this is what it is. Partiers bring pallets down to areas near the water, and they burn the pallets. And in every pallet, there's approximately 50 3-inch steel nails that is left behind. That is dangerous to the community. It's dangerous to the wildlife. And when actually, I'm going to play a quick video, but I'm going to keep talking. When they have their pallet parties, what they use is used motor oil or gasoline to accelerate the fire. And in doing so, it creates a solid layer of petroleum toxic mess that is left behind as the fire burns so hot. It's burning together the petroleum, the ash, the sand, the nails. This is the stuff the Waterway Warriors tries to remove. It is a never-ending battle against pallet burners. So far, this program has removed, and it makes me actually very emotional because we're very grateful to the partners that we've had do this. It's very hard work. And so far, we have removed at least 35,000 nails from these areas. Very proud of the volunteers. So, talking about numbers, statistics are boring. This one's exciting for us. I know that you said 131 tons, but we are now at 135 tons of trash, tons of debris removed from entering the shorelines, are entering the waterways of Florida. Very proud of that number. These are the areas that we've adopted. Now, we've got a lot of areas. Remember, we talked about adopted, that we have contracts with the landowner. The one thing that I want you to actually notice towards the end of this slide is in partnership with. In partnership with the Cocoa Rotary, in partnership with Zonta, in partnership with Century Rotary. We love collaborations. We love partnerships. More people working together, more we can get done. So this is our phrase that we use in the organization. It's not about one person doing everything. It's about everybody doing something. So on that note, here are some of our community partners. And you might recognize some of the names here. Without our partnerships, it would be very difficult to achieve the mission. We are very grateful to every single one of the partners that we have. Speaking of partnerships, we did an event called Tire Island. Now, Tire Island was a location that a fisherman, Fred Goldstein from Explore the IRL, he found this area that we thought had 100 tires that were dumped in. So using our collaborative model, we reached out, and with the help of Sorrel, the city of Cocoa Beach, Explore the IRL, Gator Dredging, local businesses, and 100 volunteers, we were able to remove 700 tires from this small area near the Banana River Aquatic Preserve. And this was the amazing part of this event. Due to the collaboration with the Brevard County Mosquito Control, every one of the tires was recycled with their tire amnesty program. That is collaboration. And we are extremely grateful. Now, this very last slide is going to say that we removed 321. That was our first one morning event. We did 700 tires in only 2 mornings. And we did. We went back for the rest. So, how do we fund this? We are 100% volunteer powered. No one on staff, and every volunteer gives of their personal time, their vehicles, their equipment. We have very little overhead. We do not have an office. We don't have property to maintain. We've got organizational expenses, but no overhead. We are 100% community funded. We actively seek out monetary donations, in-kind donations. We have a sponsor program. Hey, business, if you're listening to this webinar, we'd love to partner with you. We do creative funding. We have hand-decorated oyster shells. We sell our barrels. We do everything we can because we're scrappy, creative, and motivated. So how can you get involved? So if you love being outdoors, come on out for a Saturday morning cleanup. If you want to get hot and sweaty, it is not a beach cleanup. It is a little bit harder work, but it is so satisfying. If you're a business owner on this webinar, reach out to us. We want to partner with you. We want to promote you and show your commitment to the community. If on this webinar you represent an organization that is also very like-minded, we want to partner with you. We'll figure out a way. Get a hold of us. If you're just a regular person, which all of us are, be our eyes. Find a waterway. If you're a fisherman and you see a repeated dumping area, let us know. We will figure out a way to work towards a solution. And if nothing else, support our mission. Donate, volunteer, spread the word, or connect us to somebody who can help. So, how can you get involved? You already are because you're on this webinar. It's choosing your choice to sit through this webinar. Listen to this mission. Now, we're hoping you'll take one more step and work with us, partner with us for the ultimate goal of a healthy lagoon system. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Sharon, thank you so much, and congratulations on 135 tons. I feel like every time I talk to you, because you guys said you clean up, 1,200 pounds a weekend or more. So every time I talk to you, that number just keeps going up. So
It
congratulations
does.
on that.
Thank you.
We do have a few questions. We don't have a lot of time remaining,
Yep.
but we do have a few questions. Let me just open that up here. Um, Waterway Warriors started with just you picking up litter on your walks. Looking back, did you ever imagine that it would grow into a movement that has now removed 135 tons of trash?
And that's why it makes me emotional. No, I absolutely had no idea. And when the first next person joined me, which was Sandra Leone, and she screeched over her car and she says, I want to do this. I want to be your best friend. I'm going to be with you forever. And I'm thinking, oh, she's a lunatic. No, she's not. She has been with us every step of the way. Together, we were looking back at pictures just within the last couple of days, and we had no idea that it would turn out the way it is. And it's because of the partnerships we have in this community. That truly is the center of our mission.
You told me a little bit when you and I were speaking last week. You told me that some other entities have reached out to you or to Waterway Warriors, and would like to replicate this program elsewhere, maybe not even in the Indian River Lagoon watershed. And
Yep.
so what's your recommendation for a first step?
First step is don't recreate the wheel. We already have a working wheel. We already know what is working, what isn't working. Now, every area is different, but reach out to us. Contact our website, go in through the website, send us an email, send me a text. We will figure out how to get you started in your area. We've got someone right now that is looking to establish something in Jacksonville. Now, that's not even in Brevard County, but
Yes, indeed.
we've already worked through the process. We know what works and what doesn't work. We will set you up.
And finally, if everyone on this call, at the height of the call, by the way, you had 38 participants.
Oh,
If everyone
awesome.
committed to just doing one thing differently for the rest of this summer, what would have the biggest impact?
Pick up one piece of trash instead of walking over it every day.
Great idea. Well,
If you see a bag in the grocery store parking lot, if you see a bag rolling down the road or blowing down the road, stop, pick it up, and put it in a trash can.
Sharon, thank you so much. Your group has just done such amazing things. What an inspiration to everyone who's been here live on the Zoom with us, but also we will post this on our YouTube channel as well. So if you happen to have missed today's or any of these previous webinars that we've conducted, please feel free to get on that YouTube channel. And check them out. Share this presentation with others. If you know an organization or another entity that would like to begin a program like this and talk with the Waterway Warriors, be sure and send the link to them. That link will get posted on our socials. It'll probably be out in the next couple days or so, or maybe even faster. KJ is usually pretty on it. So Sharon and the Waterway Warriors, thank you so much for being here. Everyone on the call, thank you so much for being here. You see our upcoming upcoming schedule. Next month is Dr. Holly Sweat from the Smithsonian Institution with the IRL species inventory. And then following that, we have Olivia Eskandel from FWC. We hope to see you for more sessions of What's Up in the webinar. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Okay, bye-bye.
And Sandra, I know you're on. Thank you too.